за 143 года существования одна из самых главных черт нашего музея – это открытость для коллег из любых стран, из любых регионов нашей страны и зарубежных наших коллег, сотрудничество во всех областях – музейной, архивной, выставочной, научной деятельности, потому что без общения, без постоянной работы с коллегами, без постоянного, так сказать, обмена новостями и открытиями невозможна никакая научная деятельность. Мы это все отлично понимаем, и это аксиома, которая не нуждается в каких бы то ни было доказательствах. Мы рады, безусловно, приветствовать наших гостей сегодня из Австрии, господина Михаэля Альрама, который сделает, я не сомневаюсь, в этом серьезное научное сообщение. И должен вам заметить, что наш исторический музей бесспорно крупнейший музей нашего государства. Это 12-я часть всего музейного фонда Российской Федерации, чтобы вы могли себе представить масштаб исторического музея: 5 миллионов единиц хранения памятников материальной культуры и без малого 15 миллионов листов документального материала. То есть это действительно огромное музейное государство. Вот что такое исторический музей. При всей любви, уважении вечной и долгой государственному Эрмитажу должен сказать, что Эрмитаж действительно один из величайших музеев мира по своему собранию примерно на 40% меньше собрания исторического музея. И должен заметить, что не без гордости, что 1/3 нашего собрания, 1/3 вот тех самых 5 миллионов составляет наши нумизматические материалы. То есть это почти 1 миллион 700 тысяч, где-то так, 1 миллион 600, 650. Вот. Можете себе представить, что это за объем, и нумизматическая коллекция, пожалуй, в нашей стране самая крупная. И должен еще заметить, что в собрании исторического музея, благодаря во многом одному из величайших нумизматов, коллекционеров, еще и 19-го, начала 20 века, Павлу Васильевичу Зубову, собрана уникальная коллекция восточных монет, восточной нумизматики. Прежде всего, конечно, арабской. И эта коллекция, тут очень сложно, наверное, спорить и бодаться, но она абсолютно сопоставима, а может быть даже в чем-то и превосходит с коллекцией Государственного организации. Ну, я не буду вам ликбез проводить, вы все люди в теме, отлично понимающие, что это такое и насколько редкие экземпляры памятников нумизматических находятся в составе Зубовской коллекции. И я думаю, что вот и сегодняшний доклад, как одна из первых, так сказать, ступенек нашего сотрудничества с Австрийской академией наук, с австрийскими учеными, получит, безусловно, продолжение. В какой форме это продолжение будет развиваться, мы сейчас пока еще только, наверное, будем обсуждать, продумывать, по какому пути мы пойдем. Но я думаю, что это может быть, безусловно, и описание коллекции, и консультирование, и совместные издания, и какие-то научные конференции. Хотелось бы верить, что это сотрудничество будет, может быть, даже выставки, почему бы и нет. Хотелось бы надеяться, что это сотрудничество будет интересным, плодотворным и обоюдополезным, что исключительно важно и для нашей страны, и для Австрии. Тем более, что опыт такого сотрудничества исторического музея огромен, с различными у нас самые выдающиеся и крупные партнеры по всей Европе, в Соединенных Штатах Америки, крупнейшие музеи мира, крупнейшие картинные галереи мира, крупнейшие ученые приезжают к нам, мы с ними встречаемся, предоставляем им площадку как для выставочной, так и для научной работы. Вот. Так что, завершая свое очень такое краткое и небольшое выступление, мне бы хотелось выразить благодарность господину Михаэлю Алраму за то, что он нашел время и возможность посетить наш музей и выступить здесь с лекцией. И второе, выразить надежду на то, что на этом наше сотрудничество с Австрийской академией наук, с австрийскими учеными и коллегами не закончится, а наоборот, этим будет дан старт интересному, плодотворному нашему взаимодействию. Пожалуйста, господин Алрам.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, it's a great pleasure for me to be here, and I would like to thank Dr. Shiryakov and his team for making it possible that I can give a lecture here in this wonderful museum. In the following 40 minutes, I would like to introduce you to some new evidence coming from the region of Afghanistan and Pakistan. Let's see if this works. Yeah. So, well, the map here is not really good visible, but we are dealing mainly with the area of ancient Bactria and the area then south of the Hindu Kush, what is Kabulistan, Tabulistan, so the southern regions of Afghanistan, and then further eastward down the Khyber Pass to the area of Gandhara and the Punjab. Well, it should be noted that no systematic archaeological exploration of the above-mentioned regions with particular reference to present-day Afghanistan has been possible since the end of the 1970s due to the ongoing military situation. In 2004, when the situation became more peaceful in Afghanistan, the University of Vienna and my museum started a joint project financed by the Gerda Henkel Foundation in Germany, what is called the Training and Research Collaboration with the Kabul Museum. What you see here is now how the Kabul Museum looks nowadays in 2004, 2005 and 2012 when I visited this place. So it's again a lively museum, a lively place with a lot of students coming in, with a lot of school pupils coming in to see and learn about the history of Afghanistan. Some years before, in the 1990s, the Kabul Museum looked like this. It was completely destroyed. The collection was partly looted, and what you see here, these were the coin trays from the more or less 40,000 coins which were stored in the Kabul Museum. Only 1,600 have survived. The rest was completely looted or partly destroyed also by the Taliban. Nowadays, also in the restoration department of the Kabul Museum, you see here that the formerly smashed artifacts of the museum, smashed by the Taliban, are now going to be restored. So we have had a similar situation. Maybe you have seen what happened in the Museum of Mosul just 1 week ago by the IS. Anyway, new time started, and with this new development in Afghanistan, the more peaceful situation there, also the planned archaeological excavation started again, mainly conducted by the Afghan Institute of Archaeology in collaboration with the French archaeological mission, and also a lot of international scholars from various fields helping here in the new excavations the Afghan Institute started. I would like to introduce you now to two special excavations I have visited in 2012, and also I had the pleasure to publish the coin finds of these two excavations. The first excavation is in Mezanyak, which is located approximately 30 kilometers south of Kabul, in the Logar province, on the main road which leads from Kabul to the south to the city of Gardis. This impressively large site of Mezanyak is currently the object of excavations in the framework of a rescue archaeology. Well, why rescue archaeology? The site is situated on the world's second largest copper reserve, and is soon destined to become a giant open cast mine. A 30-year lease for the copper mine was granted to the China Metallurgical Group Corporation in 2007 by the Afghan government, and in a race against time, the Afghan Institute of Archaeology launched rescue excavations since 2009. You see here a view of this immense large site. The initial archaeological plan has recently been extended, but the economic importance of the mining project represents an extremely difficult challenge to the proper scientific investigation and preservation of the site. So far, several Buddhist settlements with stupas, chapels and monastic quarters provisionally dated to the 5th to the 9th century have been partially excavated. However, still an unknown quantity of other sites, including civil and religious centers, as well as workshops, are still hidden beneath numerous archaeological mounds stretching as far as the eye can see. Abundant archaeological traces indicate that the metal resources of the site were already exploited in ancient times, and it is very likely that the Buddhist monastic communities themselves had some sort of right to them, that they also were involved in this mining and dealing with the copper. The Buddhist cultic areas are embellished with fantastic painted murals, sculptures, which give us an impression of this very rich artistic blossoming of these monasteries. We have also colossal figures like this in a very narrow space, which form really a coherent group, as you see here, these gigantic bodhisattvas built of clay. This is just a general overview what has been observed so far. Now let's turn to the coin finds. Of course, a mass of coins came out of these excavations. The earliest coins are dating to the time of cultural Cadphises, so we are here in the early Kushan period, approximately in the 1st century CE, where the coin finds start. We have a high peak of copper coins from the main Kushan dynasty, from Kanishka, Kuishka, Vasudeva, stretching to the time of the late Kushan kings to Kanishka III, already in the early 4th century. What is extremely remarkable that we also have gold coins coming from the excavations. I show you here a selection of 3 pieces, which leads us to the continuing period after the Kushan, when the Sasanians from Persia had already conquered Bactria and the surrounding area and took over this Kushan gold minting from Bactria. The first 2 coins are from the early Kushano-Sasanian kings. You see the king on the obverse offering over a fire altar, and on the reverse to the Kushan god Uesho, depicting like Shiva in front of his bull Nandi. What you also have on the 2 coins are the mint signature of Bachlo, written in Bactrian letters. The last coin most probably also leads to the next period, which came, the next historical period, which came after the Kushan, after the Sasanians lost the territory of Bactria, north of the Hindu Kush, to a Hunnic tribe who is called in the ancient sources Kidarites. We also have coins of the Kidarites. This coin on the right hand side might be one of the earliest Kidarite king, which took over power in Bactria approximately around or after 370 CE. Of course, we also have a huge strata of Sasanian imperial coins in the area of Mesaniac. These Sasanian imperial coins, and this is important for the history of the whole region, only starts with Shapur II. That means in the second half of the 4th century. What you see here on the right-hand side is one of these typical Sasanian silver drums of Shapur, which were really struck in huge masses in this region. I will come to this later. Most probably, what I think, in the region of Kabulistan, where we have the excavations, for example, in ancient Begram. We also have, of course, quite a lot of these so-called Kushano-Sasanian copper coins. You see here the coin number 2, which were most probably struck in the area of Gandhara, so in any case south of the Hindu Kush, which we also find in huge masses in the area of Bactria. So they also traveled over the Hindu Kush to the north, and you find them also in huge masses, for example, in Bactria, in Termes, for example. The next coin is this is again an imperial coin of Alram IV, a Sasanian coin from the mint of Nishapur in Khorasan, in Iran. But what is most interesting is the last coin. This is a gold coin of the Sasanian king Peros, dating to the second half of the 5th century. The style of this coin is very peculiar, so it is definitely not a coin coming from a Sasanian imperial mint. We know some of these coins, they all have this peculiar style. They all are of most probably already in the time of Shapur I, so in the second half of the 3rd century CE. When we trust in the inscription of Shapur, we have his famous inscription on the Kabari Tzadusht in Nakhchiravstan near Persepolis. This minting in Sindh starts, and this is also interesting, in the time of Shapur II and ranges until Peros. Then it stopped. These coins are made of debased gold, so there is a lot of silver mixed. And what is interesting for us that so far these coins from Sindh only appeared on the market in London, in New York, in Munich, but not a single coin of this type was ever found really in an archaeological context. So this is the first time that we have these coins in an archaeological context, which is really very remarkable. What I said before of decisive importance for the monetary development of the whole regions in southern Afghanistan was the decision of Shapur II to transfer his imperial mint, or main parts of the imperial mint, from Ctesiphon, what is today in Iraq, in Mesopotamia, to the east, to the area of Kabulistan. This happened most probably around or after 365 CE. We know from the Roman general and historian Ammianus Marcellinus that Shapur was present in the east around or from 355 onwards, because a Hunnic tribe tried to enter the Sasanian Empire from the north. This tribe is mentioned in the ancient sources with the name of Pionite, and we presume that these are the first Huns which entered the Sasanian Empire, crossed the Oxus and moved into Bactria. And Shapur was, of course, moving his troops now in this region to fight against this Hunnic incursion. For this fight, which lasted for quite a long time, of course, he needed a lot of money to finance the troops on the one hand side, but also to pay the Huns just to keep outside of the Sasanian Empire, as it happened some years later under Peros, where we know that the Sasanians paid enormous sums of silver drams to pacify the Hephthalites and keep them out of their region. Now, these drams of Shapur II struck in Kabulistan, they all have a special style, which we also can find in the mintage of his successors, what you see here, Ardashir II and Shapur III. Now you may raise the question, why do you think that the mint was in Kabulistan and was transferred from Ctesiphon to Kabulistan? Well, there are some main arguments. One is the famous hoard of Tepe Maranjan, which was found by the French archaeological mission in 1933 by excavating the Buddhist monastery of Tepe Maranjan, which is today in the vicinity of the city of Kabul. The French found more than 360 Sasanian silver drams, all of Shapur II, Ardashir II, and Shapur III, and all of this special style. They are all of the same style. So this might be a first hint that the mint who was responsible for striking these coins with this special style was located not far away from the find spot of the hoard. The second argument is rather new. As a present, the Kunsthistorische Museum became about 300 clay molds which were found in the region of Bajaur, which is in northwestern Pakistan, stored in a clay jar. And these clay molds were used to make fake Sasanian drams. But they are from the time of the Sasanians. And the coins, you see two of these molds here on the slides. And the coins which were used for the impressions in the clay were all these coins from Shapur II and Shapur III with this peculiar style, what we think is from the mint of Kabulistan. The next argument are the coin finds from China. The earliest Sasanian coin finds from China are from Gaochang, that's today Kocho in the Turfan oasis, and there were 3 hoards found in the 1950s. And all these Sasanian coins found in these 3 hoards are all of Shapur II, Ardashir II, Shapur III, and all with the style of this coinage from Kabulistan. So this might be a next argument for locating the mint in Kabulistan. The last and strongest argument, however, are these coins you see on the left-hand side. These are coins struck by original Sasanian dies of Shapur II. However, they are recut. And if you look on the right-hand side, in front of the king's head, you see the Bactrian inscription Alrama, which means that's what we think is a name of a clan, of a Hunnic tribe, the so-called Alram. And in front of the bust of the king, you also have a tamga, which never appears on Sasanian imperial coins, which is also the tamga of this Alram tribe. So the legend and the tamga were recut, engraved in the original Sasanian die. You still see here under the Archano the original Pahlavi legend of the Sasanian coin. So we know, or we think, that the Archan entered the region of Kabulistan in the late reign of Shapur III, because also his dies were reused by the Alram. So that might be around or after 385. And these Alram are the second Hunnic tribe. The first are the Kidarites, and then the Alram, who moved into the eastern part of the Sasanian Empire from the north. The Alram found these dies, most probably in the Sasanian mint, and continue striking with the Sasanian dies. So this is the last argument why we think that the Sasanian mint of Shapur II must have been located in Kabulistan. Now, let's have a look on the further development of the Alram coinage in Kabulistan. In the next step, what we call the second phase, the Alram already used their own dies, although they still copy the image of Shapur II. So if you look at the bust of the king, it's still Shapur II, also the coin below, but in this case we have new dies which were made by the Alram. They also add this winged ornament under the base of the bust, and sometimes we find also a new tamga. You see it on the right hand side or on the coin above the ribbons. This tamga, you may know, is later on in the 7th, 8th century also called the Samarkand tamga, which we find also on the copper coins of this region. So this is the second stage, and finally the third stage then, we suddenly have a new image of the rulers. Typical for these Alram representative images are the artificially deformed skulls of the ruler, which you see here on 2 coins. And what is also remarkable, that here for the first time then we also find the name of the, let him call king. In this case, his name is Kingila, and Kingila was probably the first Hunnic ruler who also moved or stretched the borders of the Hunnic Empire from Kabulistan to the east, to the plains of northwest India. So he is the responsible person who conquered Gandhara, the Punjab, and erected there the new empire of the Alram Huns in Kabulistan and northwest India. The last item I would like to show you, from these Alram, of course, we also have coins from the excavations of Mesagnac. I show you here 2 examples. Both are, the left coin comes from Kingila, mentioned before. The right coin is from another ruler called Mehama. Both kings, by the way, we also know from a newly found inscription in Brahmi script, that's Indian Sanskrit, who mentions Kingila and Mehama as contemporary rulers in the region. The last item I would like to introduce to you from Mesagnac is for me also the most spectacular, and this is a silver plate which was found in one of these Buddhist monasteries of Mesagnac. On the first glance, a numismatist would say this is an image of Shapur II. However, if you look closer, you may realize some details which really doesn't fit in the framework or in the time or in the to the coinage of Shapur II. First of all, if you look at the diadem ribbons here, they are coming beneath the ball of hair, which never you can find on coins of Shapur II, but only later on in the time of Bahram IV. Secondly, here you have an ornament of leaves. This ornament of leaves we find on coins also never in the time of Shapur II, but also only later in the time of Bahram IV. You see a coin here on the top. What is striking, that if we compare this image of the king with one of our Alram coins here on the right side, although the king looks to the other side, what we see here, that exactly also the diadem ribbons are coming beneath the hairball, and we also have this winged ornament under the bust. And what is also striking, this strange form of the shape of the corimbos, this globe above the hair of the king, above the crown, which also corresponds exactly what we see on this silver plate. So, summing up, I'm inclined to think that this silver plate found in Mezagnac is already a product of the Alram, of the Huns who asked for making this silver plate, of course in Sasanian imperial fashion. They may have got a lot of these silver dishes already as booty, as tribute from the Sasanian kings. Just to show you two other examples. On the left-hand side, you see this famous Sasanian silver bowl found in Georgia, in Sarjevi, from Bahram II. And then you have on the right-hand side this silver bowl now in the British Museum, which was found in the Swat Valley. This is north of Gandhara in northwest Pakistan, showing a hunting scene. And in the middle you have the medallion of this Alram prince. The same is true for the silver bowl found in Chile, in Uzbekistan, also with this typical Alram, with the typical bust of an Alram king. So altogether, I think this is strong evidence also to attribute the silver dish found in Mezagnac, to see it in a Hunnic context. So far, so good, and we move away from Mezagnac back to Kabul, and I would like to introduce you to the second excavation place, which is called Tepe Narenj. Tepe Narenj is a Buddhist monastery situated in the vicinity of Kabul, and it was excavated by Zafer Payman from the Institute of Afghan Archaeology since 2004. What he found is a huge monastery, which I can show you here. This is a view how it looks like today. And the second slide shows you how it was built in several terraces with little stupas, a big stupa in the middle, staircases in between the different platforms. The chronological framework, according to Zafer Payman, stretches approximately from the 5th, 6th century to the 9th, 10th century CE. And it was published recently in the framework of the publication series of the Collège de France in Paris. I show you now just some slides so that you get an impression of this also very impressive site. This is one of the main chapels with these clay statues surrounding a central Buddha. Then these are the sculptures, parts of the sculptures found here in this central chapel. The next slide shows you the large stupa with more than 10 meters around. Yes, then also one of these monuments where you see these are the feet itself is nearly 70 centimeters big, so that must really be a huge statue of a bodhisattva. And yes, one of these little stupas in Chapel 2. And then these strange columns, Zafa Paiman, see not clear what this really is. That's on the upper terrace of the monastery, where these round columns were situated, and the same with, in the lower zone here, excavated, and that's still, for the archaeologists, unclear what this was originally. Now, the stratified coins in Mezagnac start with the so-called Netzach coins. These Netzach are also a Hunnic tribe, what we think, who started to strike coins most probably after the devastating defeat of the Sasanian king Peros against the Hephthalites. This, as you know, Peros was killed in battle against the Hephthalites, and with his death, the whole political situation in the east changed completely. The Sasanians were weakened for more than 5 decades, or nearly 60 years, before they were able to recover and regain control in this area. And most probably after 484, these Netzach Huns started to strike coins. What we think is first in the area of Zaburistan, what is today the biggest city in this area, Ghazni. You see here two styles which may reflect also two chronological stages of this coinage. In the early 6th century, then, a second mint of these Netzach kings were opened, and this most probably north of Zaburistan, in the area of Kabulistan, also what is today Begram, Kabul. In this area a second mint was opened. This is just to show you the prototype of this winged crown of the Netzach kings, which is a characteristicum. This, of course, is clearly copied from the last crown of the Sasanian king Peros, which was introduced in 474 and gives, of course, us a firm terminus postquem for the beginning of the coinage of the Netzach. The most characteristics are the bull head on the top of the head. So this is, and the two wings. This is the main sign of the Netzach. And the next slide just shows you the upper coin is most probably the group 1 from the Ghazni area, and the second group from Kabulistan. The main difference is not only the style, but if you look at the letter Aleph here from Malka Shah, the Middle Persian, is written here as a correct Aleph, and on the coins from Ghazni it's always rendered like a shin. So there is a difference in the scribing. In 560 approximately, the Hephthalites, this Hunnic tribe who ruled north of the Hindu Kush after 484, suffered a devastating defeat against an alliance of the Sasanian king Khosrow I and the new power from the north, the so-called Western Turks. The Hephthalites were defeated, and the Sasanians were able to regain control over Bactria, but also over Zaburistan after 560 for approximately 40 years, so until the end of the 6th century. What we have as historical document for this hypothesis are these two clay ceilings, which are coming from an Amagar, that's a financial administrator of the Sasanian Empire, from an Amagar from Tsavuristan and Vavaraskan, and an Amagar from Marvrut and Balkh. So this shows us clearly that at that time, these regions were again under the control of the Sasanians. But as I said, this lasted only for a short time, only until the 590s. The next coin finds from Tepe-Narenj leads us to the late Sasanian times. What you see here is a dram of the Sasanian king Ormas IV from the mint of Balkh, so from the mint in Bactria, and exactly from his 11th year, because in this time the Sasanian coins not only bear the mint mark, I show you here. Here you have the mint mark, Bachur, Balch, and here you have year 11. So this coin was struck in year 11 of the rule of Ormas the fourth. That means in 588 to 589. The problem with the coin in Tepe-Narenj is that the style is not fitting exactly. We know a huge mass of these drams of Ormas IV, which were found in Bactria, also in Termes, in all these regions around the Oxus, the middle of the Oxus. So there might be also some imitations in this huge mass of Ormas IV coins from Balkh, but for the moment we are not clear to divide the Sasanian originals from these imitations. The next coin then leads us to the time of Khosrow II, the most famous Byzantine empire. Finally lost his life. He was set into prison by his own people and then punished to death. But anyway, for his campaigns he struck a huge mass of coinage, and these coins of course spread all over Central Asia, and also one of these coins was found in Tepe-Narenj. But these coins of Khosrow II then also gave the model for the coinage of the so-called Arab Sasanians. 50s on, after they had conquered the Sasanian Empire, started to strike coins in Iran, but also in Central Asia, following mainly the model of the Sasanian king Khosrow II. What we have here is really most interesting coin of the Arab governor Ubaydallah ben Ziyad, which was struck in year 67 Hijra, that troops. You have also on the inside the Arabic legend Muhammad Rasul Allah, so what means Muhammad is the messenger of God, which is never recorded here in this on his coins in this special year. So there we still have to think how this can be arranged. The next phase, this is this coin of Ubaydallah ben Ziyad with the legend around. You see it here. Sorry. Yeah, now we are coming to nearly the last phase, and this leads us to the time of the Turkish rule in Kabulistan. We know from Arabic sources that the Turks around 600 or 660 or after 660 took over power in Kabulistan, also conquered the southern region of Tabulistan, and fought against the Arabs for more than 200 years successfully. What you see here is a coin, most probably from the earliest of these Turkish kings, which is mentioned in the Chronicle of Al-Biruni as Barha Tegin. This Barha Tegin was the father of the most famous Turkish king who ruled in Kabulistan, whom the Chinese called Buzan Tekin Shah, himself on his coins, His Excellence, the Iltibir of Kalach, the worshipper of the highest God, His Excellency, the King, the Divine Tegin, so really a fantastic title of this Turkish king. He ruled for quite a long time. We know from Chinese sources that at more than 80 years old he abdicated and asked the Chinese emperor that his son, Frum Caesar, the Caesar of Rome, should become the new king of Kabul. And his coins you see here on the right hand side. These are the coins of Frum Caesar, which we also found in the excavation. The Chinese called him Fulin Chi Po. What is interesting for his coin that we have that he sometimes is using original coins of Khosrow II, and just a ring die with a Bactrian inscription was struck over. What you see here, this Bactrian inscription, and here he declares himself who was responsible for smoting the Arabs. So he declares that he was fighting against the Arabs and that he was successful in his fight against the Arabs. The final stage in Tepe Narenj, and now I'm coming to the end, are the coins of the so-called Hindu Shahi. Also here we know that approximately around 850 CE, the last Turkish Shah in Kabulistan and the Hindu Shahis began to rule. What you see here are these typical coins with the reclining bull on the one side and the horseman, the rider, on the back side, with various inscriptions. However, we are still far away for a clear relative chronological sequence of this coinage. So there, I think, for numismatists is still a lot of... What is interesting is that with the huge mass of Samanid silver coins, which started to flow to Europe from the 9th, 10th century, also these Hindu Shahi silver coins reached Russia, Scandinavia, and even Hungary. We have some finds from Hungary where we also have these Hindu Shahi silver coins, and they represent the last phase of the Buddhist monastery of Tepe Narenj. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope it was not so long, but nearly in time.
Как-то так получился микрофон, да? Работает? Держите. Да? Значит, ну, из доклада вот, то ли прослушал, то ли не совсем понял, что вот на этом мезоньяке все-таки там был монетный двор, вот, город соответствует по объему вот, и по своему значению тому, что там находился монетный двор. Евгений Гончаров, Oriental Studies, is not grasped in detail. If Messina had its own mint, does it communicate in any sense with the coinage?
Well, this is a very good question. We do not know. So far, we only have a mass of bronze coins, which we found there, but so far no workshop. So we have no, let's say, molds for casting flans of coins. We found no dies so far. So it's unclear if there was also a mint, but it could be. of course, and if we think of the mass of bronze coins, especially of the Kushan period, especially of the late Kushan period, which circulated in this area, I would like to assume that there might be a mint in the area of Mezanyak.
Вполне, да, что на самом деле непонятно, был ли там монетный блок, на фоне огромного количества найденных монет, никаких следов ни мастерских, ни да, то есть никакой инвентаря, который говорил о том, что здесь не найдено. Но в принципе, вот с учетом того, что такая масса бронзовых монет там находится, наверняка что-то было, может быть, когда-нибудь найдется.
May I add, because what the archaeologists really found are refining areas where all this copper was refined, was melted down, so it might really be possible that there was also dynamite.
Что там на самом деле археологи нашли, это следы, то есть очистки меди, поскольку там прямо были рудники, и медь обрабатывалась, переплавлялась, рафинировалась. То есть, в принципе, наверное, когда-нибудь будут найдены и нумизматические свидетельства переработки именно монет.
What we may also discuss in this is what is the role of these Buddhist monasteries in this time. I think they are, if we look to Europe in the medieval ages, the monasteries were the most powerful and economic centers of the region. So we might think that also these Buddhist monasteries were not only a religious center, but also an economic power in that area. But this has still to be investigated.
О чем мы действительно будем дискутировать в ближайшее время, это о роли буддийских монастырей в этом регионе, потому что, судя по всему, как это известно в средневековой Европе, то буддийские братства и общины были не только религиозными центрами, но и мощными экономическими единицами, которые что-то здесь производили, влияли на экономическое состояние целого региона, и, возможно, это тоже, с одной стороны, это еще требует дополнительных исследований, но на первый взгляд, похоже, так. Еще вопросы?
Do you use metal, cuprum? Was it only domestic cuprum or from other place? And maybe silver. From which place they take silver for?
Well, I think the copper also in ancient times came partly from Mezanyak. Now, this is definitely clear. This was also in ancient times one of the most important copper mines in this region. The silver, what we know from later times, so what I have shown you here from the Hindu Shahis, for example, here we definitely know that here is the Panchir Valley. So the Panchir silver mines, who were also most important in later times for the Sasanians. So the huge mass of Samanid silver came from the Panchir mines, which is in the Panchir Valley, approximately 80 to 100 kilometers north of Kabul, on the main way crossing the Hindu Kush to eastern Bactria. There were the main silver mines under the Samanids, and I think also in earlier times. We don't know if already the Sasanians got their silver from Panchir. This is not clear. But in later times, it's definitely the Panchir where the silver came from.
Что касается меди, то понятно, что очень значительная часть ее происходила из местных источников. Я от себя могу добавить, что Мезайнак, если перевести с персидского, это небольшой источник меди. То есть прямо вот название этого топонима связано с добычей меди. что серебро, скорее всего, доставлялось из Панчеры. Это примерно 80 километров на север от Кабула, как раз через Индокуш на Восточную Бактию. Непонятно, правда, уже успели сасаниды пользоваться этими приисками, да, но вот при саманидах это был мощный источник серебра, который распространялся дальше, как мы знаем, в Европу и на Руси. То есть, конечно, основным источником серебра для этих регионов, скорее всего, был Панчер.
What we also have to keep in mind is that in Kushan times, so before the Sasanians came to this area, there was a lack of silver because the Kushan only had a currency system based on gold and copper. They struck no silver coins. The silver disappeared out of the region in approximately in the early 1st century CE. Then suddenly the silver coinage in the area decreased, only copper was minted, and then it disappeared completely. And only with Shapur II, with the Sasanians, then suddenly the silver came back in the region. So this might be a hint that also these Panjshir silver mines were in use only then in later times.
Видимо, в кушанское время приток серебра отсутствовал, и, можно сказать, что вся денежная система Кушан базировалась на меди и золоте, а серебро примерно с 1 века нашей эры вообще на несколько столетий исчезло в этом регионе, только с Шапуром II мы видим, что серебряная чеканка возобновилась, причем сразу в больших количествах. Видимо, они все-таки добрались до этих рудников в Панчшире. А вот до того при Кушанах, скорее всего, эксплуатация.
On the base of your material, we can say that Turkish Shahi had supported Buddhists.
Yeah.
And around there was an Arabic Islamic area.
Yeah. In Tibetan range. Yeah. Yeah. The problem for the excavator was that the Buddhist over the Buddhist monastery that there was a cemetery. So he had incredible problems excavating there, and that was also the reason, for example, why I was not allowed really to go on this side, because they said that's much too dangerous. You can't go. So.
Буддийский слой очень сильно перекрыт мусульманскими кладбищами, почти невозможно было проводить раскопки, почему не пустили туда, это очень опасно. Вообще вопрос будет таким образом.
Сегодняшнее выступление – это инициатива Михаэля Алрама во время официального визита делегации Австрийской академии наук. Он предложил нумизматической общественности рассказать о таком интересном сюжете. И мы, конечно, должны быть ему благодарны за такую инициативу. Но поскольку я, можно сказать, совсем не в теме, для меня очень интересным и важным показалось то, что памятники, которые мы в основном знаем по музейным собраниям, оторванные от конкретных мест находки, в данной ситуации мы наблюдали в историческом контексте. И чем больше, конечно, будет подобного рода исследований, тем больше могут нам рассказать наши музейные собрания, иногда действительно колоссальные, как это в историческом музее. Вот. Но, во всяком случае, мы как-то почувствовали этот материал. Вот. Я очень благодарен Михаэлю за его выступление. Оно мне показалось, даже почти по-русски сказано было, все было понятно. Вот. И благодаря великолепной жестикуляции и четкой, хорошей английской речи, которые очень понятны, да, достаточно простые, понятные для слушателей. Поэтому действительно переводчикой особенно не нужно. Ну, собственно, на этом я предлагаю закончить. Если кто-то хотел бы пообщаться с Михаэлем, задать ему конкретные вопросы какие-то.